Question 1. The ratio of the number of coins Mel, Ted and Amy had was 3:5:4. Mel lost half of her coins to Ted. Ted then lost 10 coins to Amy, who then had thrice the number of coins Mel had. How many coins did Ted have at the end? Since this is a ratio question, we're going to use a ratio table. So number of coins Mel had to number of coins Ted had, and last, number of coins Amy had. So at the beginning, they had 3 units is to 5 units is to 4 units. Okay, and then we know that, okay, let me do this first. This is before. Then what happened? Mel lost half of her coin. So initially she had 3, she lost half, which is 1.5 units. However, we don't really like to deal with decimal or fraction, so we use a whole number. It's much easier. So we can multiply it by 2 to get 6 is to 10 is to 8. So 6 units, 10 units, 8 units. Mel lost half of her coins to Ted. Let's construct the after table. Mel had 6 units, so after losing half of it, should be left with 3 units lost to Ted. So Ted will gain the 3 units to become 13. After that, Ted then lost 10 coins to Amy. So we need to minus away 10 coins from Amy, from Ted, and give it to Amy. So 8 units plus 10. Who in the end had 3 times of Mel. This is 3 times of Mel. What it means is that if I were to take 3 units, multiply by 3, it will be equal to this. Okay, so 3 units multiplied by 3, I will get 9 units, which is equal to what Amy had. 8 units plus 10. So what can we say about this 10? This 10 must be equal to 1 unit. Okay, 10 coins is equal to 1 unit. From here, we can figure out the answer. How many coins did Ted have at the end? This. So, number of coins Ted had at the end, which is 13 units. So 10 times 13 minus 10, which will give us the answer of 120. Question 2. Tam had some $2, $5 and $10 notes. The ratio of the number of $2 notes to the number of $5 notes to the number of $10 notes was 1:2:5. After spending all her $10 and 5/6 of her $5 notes, she had $44 left. How many notes did she have at first? Usually, most of you would remember that I mentioned before, if the question asks you to look for at first, then the way to do it is to work backwards. In this case, is to draw your ratio table backwards. However, I too mentioned that in some cases, working backwards is less efficient. So this is one of the rare few cases whereby even though the question is asking you to find something at first, by right you should be working your way backwards, but this question, it's easier to work forward. All right, hence let's set up the table. We have number of $2 notes to number of $5 notes to number of $10 notes. And we have before and after. Okay, so what is the ratio at the beginning? 1 unit, 2 unit, 5 units. So we have 1 unit, 2 units over here, and 5 units. This is what we have at the beginning. Hence, after spending all her $10 notes, so all the $10 notes gone, so it becomes 0, nothing. And 5/6 of her $5 notes, so 5 out of 6. It will be easier if the number of units we have corresponds to the denominator, isn't it? So can we change 2 is to 6? Yep, we times 3 times 3 times 3. Meaning we are getting the equivalent ratio. Hence, from 1 is to 2 is to 5, we're going to change it into 3 units, 6 units, 15 units, all right? We times 3 times 3 times 3, such that we get a 6 units here, which is a nice number. All right, so 5 out of 6. She spent 5 out of 6, which means she's left with 1 unit at the end after spending 5 out of 6. And did she touch any of the $2 notes? Nope. So we're gonna bring it back down here, so it's the same. After that, at the end, she had $44 left. This is worth $44. Given that we know the ratio, for every 3 $2 notes, we have 1 $5 notes. Isn't that the ratio? 3 is to 1, which means for every 3 $2 notes, we have 1 $5 notes. Which means we can group this into one set. Let me use another color. One set of 3 $2 notes and 1 $5 note is equal to $2 times 3, right? We have 3 $2 notes plus a 1 $5 note. In total, this will give us $11. This is $11 per group. So how many groups of this will give you $44? Okay, so next step is number of set, all right, which is 44 divided by 11 to give us 4. The only way this will give us $44 is to have 4 sets of this, which means right now we can have an actual number of notes. All right, 4 of this, which means there is 4 times 3, 12 notes. Over here we have 4 notes. All right, 4 notes. And given that we know that there's no change over here, it must also be 12 notes. And what about here? After spending 5 out of 6, we have 4 notes left. So 6 units will be 24 notes, isn't it? Okay. And what about here? Since if we times 4, over here we also must times 4 to everything. So we will get 60 notes. And we have solved everything, isn't it? Again, let's double check. Is this $44? All right. 12 $2 note, that's 24. Here, that's $20, 24 plus 20, $44. Okay, so we are on the right track. Hence, the final step, number of notes is equal to 12 plus 24 plus 60 to give you the answer of 96. Let's move on. Question 3. The ratio of the number of Chinese pupils to Malay pupils in a school is 3:2. The ratio of the number of Malay pupils to Indian pupils is 3:2 also. If another 36 Chinese pupils joined the school, the number of Malay and Indian pupils would be 2/5 of the total number of pupils in the school. Find the total number of pupils in the school at first. Alright, it's a very lengthy, wordy kind of a question, but it doesn't matter. The way to approach this is always one sentence at a time, alright? One information at a time. Don't be too concerned about what the whole question is talking about. Let's set up the table first. Number of Chinese pupils to the number of Malay pupils to number of Indian pupils. At the beginning, the ratio for Chinese pupils to Malay pupils 3:2. Hence, 3 units is to 2 units. Next, we have also Malay pupils to Indian pupils. Same thing, 3:2. However, alright, they are trying to say the 2 units here and the 3 units here, they are the same. How is it possible? This is what it meant in model form. Okay, 2 and the 3. So how do we make them the same? We cut it up. 3, 3, 2 units, 2 units, 2 units to make them the same, 6 units. Hence, the equivalent ratio 3:2, we need to change it to times 3, right? So it's 9:6. Over here, we need to change it to 6:4. Now they have the same ratio, 6 and 6. So what is the final ratio? 9:6:4. So let's change it to 9. 9:6:4 units. This is their comparison at the beginning. We're going to call it before. Then there will always be the after. Okay, so this is the ratio 3:2 and also 3:2. So we just need to change it to a common ratio number here, which is 6. Moving on, if another 36 Chinese pupils join the school, this is 9 units plus 36. Alright. The number of Malay and Indian pupils will be 2/5 of the total number of pupils in the school. This will be 2/5. How can this be 2/5? We can change it to a nice number. 2/5, we can change it to 10:25, isn't it? So that we have 10, we have 10, a nice number. So we can bring it down into 10 units. If this is 10 units, the balance 15 must belong to here, right? This must be the balance 15 units. What can we say about 36? 36 must be 6 units. Let me reduce this. So first step, 6 units must be equal to 36 to give us 15. Alright, and we can find out what is 1 unit. Will be 36 divided by 6. Find the total number of pupils in the school at first. At first, there are 19 units. So, number of pupils in the school at first. So, 19 times 6, which is 120 minus 6, and that will give you 114. Question 4. Dean, Ed, and Fuzz had a total of 165 cards at first. Dean lost a third of his cards. Ed bought 33 more cards. After buying some more cards, Fuzz now had thrice the number of cards he had at first. The ratio of the cards Dean, Ed, and Fuzz had now was 4:3:6. How many cards did Ed have at first? For this question, alright, we're going to work backwards. It will be much easier. So we have number of cards Dean had, 2, number of cards Ed had, 2, number of cards Fuzz had. And we're going to have before, after. What is the ratio at the end? The ratio at the end is 4 is to 3 is to 6. This is the ratio they had at the end. 4:3:6. Let's work our way backwards. At the end, Fuzz now had 3 times thrice the number of cards he had at first. So if this is after you had thrice, what is the one before? You must divide by 3, isn't it, to get 2. 2 units. Okay, next, we're going to target Ed. Ed bought 33 more cards. So from here, you're going to remove the 33 cards. So it's 3 units minus 33. Moving back to Dean. Dean lost 1/3 of his card. After losing 1/3 of his card, he had 4 units left. So we can change this to the equivalent fraction 2 out of 6. Now it makes sense, isn't it? Initially, he had 6 units. After losing 2 units, you are left with 4. Hence, at the beginning, he had 6 units. If you want to do it in a ratio, in a model form, you can always draw it out regarding Dean's card. So at the end, Dean had 4 units, isn't it? And this is after losing 1/3 of his cards. So we can group this into 1/3, and this is the second 1/3. Hence, at the beginning, the ratio is 6 is to 3 units minus 33 is to 2. First sentence, in total, they had 165 cards at first. This whole thing is equal to 165. So what is the total? It's this plus this plus this. That will give you 11 units minus 33. So 11 units minus 33 is equal to 165. What is 11 units? So 11 units will be equal to 165 plus 33 to give you 198. What is 1 unit? Let me partition it. What is 1 unit here? Will be 198 divided by 11. That will give you 18. finally, how many cards did Ed have at first? This is the one we are trying to find. Number of cards Ed had at first. 3 units minus 33. So 3 units first. After that, we're going to minus 33 to give us the answer of 54 minus 33. That will give you 21. And that is the answer.